My girlfriend is really skinny, but she has a bit of belly fat that I love to grab and play with. She says she doesn't mind, but is it weird of me to like it? I don't want to come off as some kind of weirdo. Story 1. It's like with cats, you can pet their tummies if they show that they want you to. But if they aren't in that mood, they will scratch the heck out of your hand and bite you. Story 2. I absolutely love my wife's belly. It's so soft. I just can't help but touch it. She's reasonably athletic, but she still has a bit of a belly. She used to be very self-conscious about it and not want me to touch it, but over the past few years, she's come around. I just continued to tell her how much I loved it and how much it turned me on. Now we've gotten into the habit of spooning when we sleep, and if my hand isn't on her belly, she moves it there. First award of any kind for talking about my wife's belly. Seems about right. Thank you, kind stranger. Story 3. My wife had 2 children and is very self-conscious about it, but I love it. It's attractive to me because it shows the sacrifices she made to bring me a family. When I cuddle her, I often put my hand there, but don't squeeze or move much. I also reassure her every day of how beautiful her body is and how I could never be attracted to anyone else in this way. Let's build our girlfriends' and wives' confidence up. To make some of my words clearer, I would be attracted to her still, even if she looked the same and never had a baby. I only offered that situation to add another layer for those who can identify with her experience. I'm not sure if some users are aware that half the planet is full of women, and as men, we will never understand how carrying and delivering a baby changes you, your body, and your mind. That is incredibly hard, uncomfortable, and changes the very fabric of your being and self-identity. If you haven't witnessed the beauty of a pregnant woman or adoptive mother nesting and changing over the course of those 9 months, followed by the continuing changes her body goes through afterward, then you are truly missing out on one of life's most amazing, but difficult experiences. Story 4. I feel like a hypocrite because I really love playing with my boyfriend's slight belly but am hypercritical of mine. I think it's because dad bods are deemed attractive, but women still need to be slim thick, meaning they should have fat everywhere but their tummies. So if he even breathes in the direction of my stomach, I get invasive negative thoughts about my body. Story 5. I'm chubby and have a belly, and honestly, I like it better when they hold or play with my belly instead of avoiding it. It makes me feel like they like and accept the chubbiness, not trying to pretend like it isn't there. Story 6. If you are appreciating her, then it is not a bad thing. You are likely taking something that she interprets as a flaw and showing her how endearing it is. If you are grabbing her belly fat and saying things like, "Not so skinny now," then it likely isn't a good thing. Story 7. I love this post because my girlfriend has a little belly, and I really love it. She always says she's about 30 pounds overweight, but in my opinion, she wears it really well and I'm really into it. When we cuddle, I always have a hand on her belly, even though she hates it. Although she dislikes it, she understands that I love it, so she allows me to touch it almost whenever. Never during intimate moments, though, as I feel that might turn her off, but when we're relaxing and watching TV, I kiss her belly and tell her I love it. Part of it is to make her believe she's beautiful. Another part is me telling her I'm filling her belly up with love, so when our kids are there, they can feel the love too. It's kind of silly, but when your girlfriend loves you, it's really nice. So, if you're trying to play with your girlfriend's belly and she's not into it, don't do it all the time. Little by little, and she'll probably get more comfortable, hopefully. Don't forget to remind her it's a part of her, and you love all of her. Story 8. Haha. Not weird and totally fine as she doesn't care. I imagine it would be a problem if your girlfriend wasn't so comfortable and concerned with her weight more. Seems wholesome enough to me. Story 9. It took me like 3 years until my girl was cool with me playing with the extra lady lumps. And I tried every day for those 3 years. Sweet, sweet release. Story 10. My hands are usually on her hips, breasts, or butt. I have too much temptation to try and shake her belly, and I'm not trying to die just yet. She's not overweight, but I'm not about to risk it. Story 11. Showing that you love every inch of her, even if it might not be her favorite spot, is sweet and reassuring. I would think she realizes that you like it where other men might try to encourage her to focus on an abdominal workout. Story 12. My boyfriend does this every night when we get into bed. He grabs my stomach and goes, "I love your belly," in an accent very reminiscent of fat bastard. I let him enjoy it. Story 13. As a girl whose relationship ended over the amount of belly fat I had, 5 feet 5 inches, 165 pounds, US size 8 for reference. All of these answers comfort me in a really weird way. Story 14. Oh God. One time when I was a teenager, I grabbed my girlfriend's belly fat and jiggled it while saying, "Hefty, hefty, hefty," in my best hefty commercial voice. Suffice it to say, she was very upset with me, and it took a lot of apologizing for her to forgive me and convince her that I loved her body. Story 15. My boyfriend plays with my tummy fat too. I'm pretty small, 5 feet 1 inch and 49 kilograms, and I have no idea why he loves it so much. But he does. He even nicknamed me Chonk because of it. Story 16. My wife grabs my little love handles and plays with them. I really hate it. I have always been slim, but I've put on a little weight. I'm not overweight nor particularly sensitive about it, but I still hate it. 6 feet 1 inch, 200 pounds. Story 17. She would murder me if I did. Besides, I don't really like playing with her tummy. I love to touch it though. My girlfriend is on the Kavya side, but I think she has a cute tummy. Still, just touching it is enough to have her want to bite my hand off, so I wouldn't recommend it. Story 18. My boyfriend does that to me. At first, it made me self-conscious, but then I started joking back with him and grabbing his stomach, even though he doesn't really have fat. I've been going to the gym a lot and losing weight, so that's his way of noticing too. Story 19. Oh my God. That is truly rare. Most girls are super self-conscious about it and will hate if you do that. The only time I touch my wife's like that is when she sometimes protrudes it all the way to look pregnant, and we will joke and act like we are having a baby. Story 20. My husband plays with mine and I'm a bigger girl, so I'm more self-conscious about it, but he honestly means it when he tells me he likes having more of me to hold and squish. It depends on if I'm feeling really self-conscious, but it's not bad, just my own insecurities. Story 21. My ex had a little bit of a tummy. I thought it was super cute, but if I ever touched it or even mentioned it, I was calling her fat apparently, so every girl is different, I suppose. If your girl lets you enjoy it, then enjoy it, my man. Story 22. Mine plays with my tummy and loves that I'm squishy. I don't mind at all. It's sweet that he loves every inch of me, including the tummy fat that most would be insecure about. It helps me love my little tummy too. He doesn't have an inch of fat on his body. Otherwise, I'd squish him. Instead, I opt for tracing the outlines of his skinny little muscles with my finger. It's good to admire and love every inch of your partner, even the bits they hate. Story 23. I don't want to come off as some kind of weirdo. She's fine with what you like, you're enjoying yourself, and you're still worried. That makes you a weirdo. Quit worrying and get handsy. Story 24. I think a little dog is super cute. I love it and say so, even if it's weird. I've had a couple of girlfriends with one. I had to convince them that I liked it, and after that, no big deal. Story 25. I'm fairly skinny with a thin layer of pudge, so if my partner played with it, I would most likely cry about it for about a week or so. Belly rubs are better than playing with the pudge. Story 26. I don't specifically play with it, but when cuddling, I tend to rest my hand on the bottom or underside of her stomach, similar to where your pants sit when wearing them under your stomach. That's naturally where my hand goes, just like it does when I'm lying in bed or lounging on the couch. It's not because there's fat there. That's just kind of where it goes. It's also a little bonus because she's extremely ticklish around her waist. So I'm all queued up for a surprise attack if in the mood. Whether you call that playing with it or not, that's up to you. But I don't play with it in terms of playing with it like a stress ball or bowl of jiggly slime, no. Story 27. Not that weird. My boyfriend plays with my chub everywhere, although I don't have too much of it. Boobs, belly, arms, thighs especially. If your girlfriend doesn't mind, then there's no reason to stop. Story 28. The only thing I'll say is this. If it makes you happy and she doesn't mind, then it's not weird. There is literally someone who is into anything you can imagine. You found someone who is okay with what you are into. Enjoy it. Story 29. I don't know if my perspective will matter to you because I'm gay, but my boyfriend does this to me, and it's usually pretty hard for me to endure. I often just grab his hand and pull it up to my chest, but sometimes I let him do it because I know he enjoys it. Most of the time, it just makes me feel fat. Story 30. Dude here. I've got a lot of loose skin from losing weight. I'm insanely self-conscious about it and would probably lose my mind if someone was grabbing at it, especially if I care about whether said person would be seeing me naked. Story 31. There's a certain point in relationships where normal boundaries vanish and you start doing odd things to each other. I used to lick my girlfriend's nose and blow raspberries on her tummy. She always complained but eventually admitted that she liked it and thought it was cute. So you're good, in my opinion. She probably thinks it's cute. One of the better parts of being in a relationship is just being weird with each other. Story 32. Not a guy, but I don't think I've ever had a boyfriend who didn't jiggle or play with whatever fat I do have. The little belly poof, the thighs, the butt. Pretty universal joy, I think. I also will play with my guy's fat. Story 33. Going to be completely honest, I don't like my belly because of how it looks. But I sometimes really want to ask for belly rubs or back rubs. I strongly feel like I'd react like that staring Mike Wazowski meme if my significant other did that to me. Story 34. Yes, I do. She's chubby, and I like to lean down and kiss her and lay my head on her belly. She usually scratches my scalp or plays with my hair when I do, and I just lay there for a while. Story 35. My girlfriend is obsessed with sticking her finger in my belly button. She wiggles it around and plays with it. It doesn't bother me, and she enjoys her silly game. Everyone has their quirks, I guess. Story 36. Oh God, when we spoon, I have such a gut, and I really hate it. I can tell he kind of avoids it, and I don't know if he's grossed out. I'm grossed out by me. I should change. Story 37. I do it to mine, but it's basically always an attempt to move on to tickles. She is highly ticklish and almost all over, so it's pretty fun since I'm not at all. Story 38. There are countless couples comics online on Instagram that deal with the boyfriend playing with their girlfriend's squishy parts, like the belly. Here's one of my favorites, as it represented my ex and me. Story 39. My former boyfriend used to play with mine while cuddling. I would always pitch a fit about it because I thought it was gross, even though he repeatedly told me he loved it. Looking back, I should have embraced it. Story 40. I avoid that area like the plague. My fiancée is super self-conscious and would make a point if anything on her body had moved without her trying to. She's perfect, but it's best not to poke the bear. Story 41. My boyfriend likes to sometimes lift up my shirt and kiss my tummy in an endearing way. He likes how soft I am there or anywhere. He always has his hands touching some part of my skin if he is able to. Story 42. Yes, my girlfriend is self-declared fat. When we first started going out, I was concentrating on touching other than her belly, and she straight up told me, I have more of a body than just breasts and vagina. Love the whole thing. Story 43. We tease each other about the bellies. Everyone has one. I think I make up for it by just being wowed every time I see her get out of the shower or get dressed. There was a comic recently that relates to how men feel watching their significant other get dressed and how the significant other feels when they're admiring. Story 44. It's not weird for you or anyone to like anything as long as it's consensual, of course. We are all weirdos when we are alone. Laugh out loud. But I feel that a lot of people, not just women, are varying levels of insecure about their bodies, especially love handles. Out of respect, we don't force each other to experience that discomfort or shame by playing with said body areas. Story 45. It makes me so self-conscious. It's nothing they say or do, but I don't like it when anyone touches my stomach. Part of that is because it also hurts. My whole abdomen is sensitive, so I'm very guarded about it. I'll usually roll to my side and put your hand on my breast, hip, or leg. Story 46. Definitely not weird. I did it to my ex-girlfriend all the time and told her I love her and that she's so sexy. Maybe it's just me, but I love her soft, cuddly belly. Story 47. No, I do not. It would not go over well if I did. It depends on which area the fat is, whether I would like to play with it, certainly not with belly fat, though. Story 48. My girlfriend actually enjoys it. I'm on the chubbier side myself, and I always make her feel confident in her body and not feel ashamed of how she looks. Story 49. I would say the ultimate goal would be to feel so comfortable with your partner that you do not feel weird doing that, and also make her feel so good about how much you like her and her body that she feels nothing but good about you doing it. Obviously, that is the best case scenario, but it should be something to strive for security in ourselves within the relationship. But from what I have seen, a lot of women would not be fond of that behavior, at least initially. Story 50. Everyone is a weirdo in some way. Everyone has some kind of quirk or fascination or kink or something. For some, those things may be a deal breaker. For others, they may not be. The trick is, in my opinion, finding someone who accepts those things about you and doesn't judge you for them. And it sounds like you have. Good on you. Story 51. Every girlfriend I've ever had, I have played with their belly. Only one out of several minded. And even then, she didn't mind as much if we were cuddling, as opposed to just grabbing it randomly like I have with the others. They sometimes mind at first, but at some point, it seems like it becomes a comforting thing for them. Story 52. My boyfriend does the same to me, and I'm similar to your girlfriend by the sounds of it. I don't mind, but my insecurity always came from feeling too thin and lanky. So, even though I've now gained a little weight, it's not something that bothers me. I find it cute and even kind of nice knowing that he likes it,